This is an energy update for the rest of April through to May, and this is going to be a time when everything changes. This can be very life altering for a lot of you. This is a massive reset that is asking us to say goodbye to our old life so we can align with destiny. And the next 2 weeks is going to be one of the most important weeks of 2025. And I know we've said that with eclipse season and all the other things going on, but this is a very important time for us to say goodbye to our old lives and step into a new one. Now is the time for you to make some life-altering decision, and you might already feel in your heart that it is time. It's time for you to step into your truth and step into what it is you truly want and truly desire. You might already feel that pull, and we're being realistic about the steps and what it will take in order for us to get there. And it is time for you to do what you said you were always going to do. And Saturn is a major player in this for the next couple months, where it is pushing you. And you might have to change your entire life. You might have to flip your whole world upside down. But if it's in support with your long-term vision and your long-term goals, and it's in alignment with your destiny, Saturn wants you to do it. Saturn wants you to make that change now. Now is the time for that reset. Whatever you're called to do, now is the time to act on it and choose the hard path, because it's going to be the most rewarding thing you've ever done. There are going to be a lot of destined events unfolding over the next month, showing you what's in alignment and what's not, what's in alignment with your values and what's not, who is right for you and who isn't. And the message of these transits I'm about to talk about is that you are always rewarded in the end. Saturn is all about hard work and hard effort, but you do get the good, juicy rewards at the end. So you just have to stick it out and commit to the long haul, which is what Saturn is teaching us now. And Saturn only restricts and blocks when it knows there's something better, there's something greater on the other side. So now is the time for you to trust yourself. If you're getting pushed into another direction, you need to trust that right now, and you need to trust yourself, trust your values, and trust what really feels in alignment with you. This is about tapping in and what feels right, and what relationships feel right, what jobs feel right, what opportunities feel right. And you really need to trust yourself, and every action and decision you're called to make right now. Now is a time that you are making history in your own life, and this is going to be a very defining moment for you, where you are choosing the destined path, you're choosing the right path, and that might be the hard path, but it's going to be the most rewarding one. One of the major transits that are happening right now is the Venus-Saturn conjunction, which normally happens once every year, but this is happening 3 times this year, which is incredibly rare. And when these planets unite, it's extremely powerful, but because they're aligning 3 times, this is going to be very significant, very impactful, pivotal moment for you, some type of turning point in relation to your relationships, your values, your growth, your maturity, and your commitment. And it's going to be very intense because it's happening 3 times, and it's happened since January. So through this entire year, it's been pretty intense energy. We've had eclipses, we've had retrogrades, and we've had this Venus-Saturn conjunction hitting it 3 times. So the first conjunction was on January 18th, the second was on April 7th, and the third is coming up on April 24th, and that's why I'm making this video now. That all of these have its own significance, so look back to those other dates of what happened, but they're all connected, and each lesson learnt is leading to the next one and leading to this final one on April 24th. This is the final resolution. This is the integration of everything we've learnt since January in relation to our relationships and commitment and our maturity and our growth. This brings a profound transformation after this process of reevaluation we've just gone through, especially with Venus retrograde in with these conjunctions as well. We're reevaluating what it is we truly want and desire. We're reevaluating our relationship to commitment and responsibility, and our relationship lives have been changing over the past couple months. Our long-term goals and aspirations have been changing over the past couple months as well, in terms of love and relationships and what type of safety and security and stability we want, and how we are reaching a higher state of maturity, and if other people are reaching that state of maturity or if they're not, and if they are still aligned with us or not. And there is a lot of growth happening in the Pisces area of your chart because this conjunction is happening in the sign of Pisces. Have a look at what house is in Pisces for you, and that is where all this growth and maturity and improvement and this reset is happening. As a whole though, because Venus is the planet of relationships and love, there is going to be a lot of progress and development in our romantic lives. And to build a stable, loving, successful, authentic life, we need to deeply understand what truly matters to us, what it is we truly want and desire. And Saturn has been doing that. We've had a lot of intense reality checks being thrown at us since January relating to our wants and our desires, really pecking us and poking us and prodding us of like, is this what you really want? Is this what you want to commit to? Is this for your long-term future? Is it sustainable for the long term, for the long haul? Is this what we truly want? And in January, around January 18th, we would have had to reflect back on the foundation of what we want and if there was any changes that needed to be made, and if it was stable enough to build off, or if we needed to make it more stable, more strong, more solid in some way. And we would have had to set intentions for long-term commitments and focus on our long-term goals. And then we had the April 7th conjunction, which wasn't as nice because Venus was in retrograde and it was all about reevaluation and reconsidering our choices and our decisions and what our priorities are, and really making sure that our lives are aligned with that. Where we had to revisit unresolved relationship issues and confront hard truths for necessary growth, because that's what Saturn's all about. And we would have had to face, if you haven't already, you will have to now, patterns of avoidance and sacrifice, patterns of commitment issues and trust issues are all coming up now, because Saturn is pushing us to commit to something, and we're having to face all the things that are holding us back or stopping us from doing that. And we've also had to go through all this work for some healing and closure, because we're closing one chapter. This Saturn-Venus conjunction is happening in the sign of Pisces, the last degrees of Pisces, which is the last final sign of the zodiac. So there is this full circle moment, this final closing chapter for us to start something new. Not saying that the relationships you have are all going to end. There's a new chapter happening within those relationships as well, and some are going to have to fall away. And with this one that's coming up, the last week of April is going to be this resolution, this integration of all the lessons we've learned, all the issues we've faced and gone through, so we can move forward into our lives really in more alignment with our future and our long-term goals. And we're going to be stepping out of this with more maturity and responsibility. We're going to be more aligned with what we're pursuing. And the relationships that are meant for us are going to grow stronger, and the others will fall away and we will have to release them. And with Venus being the planet of resources as well, we are financially aligned with endeavors that are going to reward our efforts and give us that security that we want, that security that we have defined within ourselves over the past couple of months of what security means to us, what stability means to us. We're going to attract that now for the rest of 2025. With this being in the sign of Pisces though, if you've been crying a lot recently, having like emotional outbursts, that is so normal, and it's definitely because of this transit, because Pisces is a deep emotional death, and we're having to face all these things that are holding us back from commitment and from our long-term goals and from the life we really want to live. We have to face all the shit that's stopping us, and that's really emotional. And Saturn's coming in with helping us use our discernment, coming in with the reality checks and helping us be really honest about the work that's required to attain our dreams and what steps it takes for us to get there. But that is helpful. To know the steps it takes, it's more likely for us to actually get there instead of just sitting around thinking about it. We're going to start to take action now on making our dreams a reality. We have this action plan to build relationships we want, to build the right job and career that we want. That's in alignment with us, and we have to stop lying to ourselves, and we have to get out of these illusions and delusions with Venus, this Venus conjunction. It's illusions around your relationships or illusions around the people in your life. You might have some on a pedestal, and Saturn's really coming in with the real hard truth to really face if these people are meant to be in your life or not. And any doubts you have right now need to be addressed. And if you cannot ignore them. And if you try, like, Saturn's going to come in and make sure that you face them at some point during the rest of April and through to May. It's things around commitment and taking your relationships seriously and seeing them for what they are, seeing these people for who they really are. No rose-colored glasses. You can't ignore anything. You can't ignore problems and hope it goes away. Saturn's going to bring it up right to your face if it hasn't already. And ignorance isn't going to help you get out of this one. This is the time for you to really face it head on, and then the rewards will come after that. And any dysfunctions within your relationships will have to be confronted as well. And you need to see if this relationship can continue on into the future with you or not. And there's going to be this pressure to commit to what's in alignment, and really the pressure to let go of everything that's not. And that's going to be really hard and emotional for a lot of us, but also more internally, like, what are our beliefs around relationships? What are you calling in, like, with your subconscious mind? What do you believe love and relationship is like for you? What do you believe stability and security is like for you based on your past? You're going to be asked to shed a lot of these beliefs so you can call in something better, call in something more aligned for your path moving forward. And you have to be really real about the true investment that is required to build a successful bond with someone, to build this long-term loving commitment, this committed relationship, what the work that's going to be put in, because it's all about hard work and hard effort with this Saturn influence. So you're really going to have to ask yourself, do these people in my life align with my values? And are these relationships resilient enough to stick it out with me and to be there through the good times and through the bad times and go with me for the long haul? And if they're not, like, you're going to have to let it go, and you're going to have to break out of these previous patterns that have been hindering you, these previous patterns of staying with people because of convenience or because you've known them for a long time or for any other reason. Saturn is not about convenience. It's about alignment. It's about the long-term future. It's about the long haul, and it's being real with you. Are these people meant to stay or not? You've got to be real with yourself right now and make that decision. The North Node is also in the mix here for the next couple of weeks, and this is helping us go in the right direction and grow in the right way. But this is really going to be about our priorities and where our priorities are, which we've already thought about during the Venus retrograde, but this is the time for us to have a look at our lives and see if we're living our lives accordingly. Are they in alignment with our priorities? And are we investing our energy in the right things, in the right people, the right relationships, right opportunities, etc.? And by the end of April, you are going to know whether people are sticking around for the long haul or whether they're ready to go. Because with this Saturn influence, that is all about standing the test of time. Some of the relationships you're building foundations with and you're facing these issues with, you're going deeper with, and you're facing those reality checks and you're working it out and healing together. These relationships could be with you for this entire incarnation. So this is a really important, pivotal moment for your connections and your relationships. And this is the time for us to have a look at ourselves and go, what relationships are worth keeping in the long term, and who isn't worth our time anymore? Who have we outgrown? Because Saturn is all about what have we outgrown, what is hindering us, what is stopping us, what are the blockages, what are the limitations that are stopping you from stepping into the life that you came here to live. Now, Saturn is known as the malefic planet. Everyone fears it. Like, every time Saturn's in the mix, everyone's like, oh no, it's going to be bad. It's not bad. I make these astrology videos based on the astrological information, but I also meditate and I channel information, and I have talked to Saturn, the planet, which I know sounds a bit weird, but Saturn is a masculine protective energy, and it brings in the limitations to help us align with the life that we chose to live here. And it's all it's all for our highest good. It's not this mean, malefic influence. It is here to serve a purpose. It is here to make sure that we stay on the right track and stay on the right path, even if it's hard, even if it takes extra work and extra effort. That's what we're being called to do. Saturn, I see, is like the grandfather figure who cuts the BS and tells you how it is, gives you that reality check to make sure you stay in alignment and you follow what's meant for you. And this is the time that we're in right now, that we need to let go of who doesn't serve us anymore. We need to let go of the connections that we've outgrown for us to make sure that so we stay on the path that we're meant to be on. So when I talked to Saturn and I channeled that energy, it was asking us what is in alignment with us for our future, for the long term, for the long haul, and what relationships and commitments and opportunities and things in our life are holding us back from the path that we have chosen. Because there is a path that your soul has chosen in this lifetime to live, and there are certain things that are going to hold you back and hinder that growth. And now is the time for us to let that go and to shed that stuff so you can keep going forward in the direction you're meant to move into. And with Venus, I connected with her as well, this beautiful feminine being of love, was just going, what is in alignment with your heart's truest wants and desires, and then merge that with the masculine of Saturn of what's going to stand the test of time, what's in it for the long haul, and what's connected to your heart. We're doing both right now. And we have this Saturn North Node conjunction happening this week, and that can bring in soulmates that are aligned with your destiny, because the North Node is all about your destiny and where you're headed next, and your next chapter of your soul evolution, which is the next 18 months. That's the direction you're going in. There could be some soulmate connected to that with this Venus influence as well. So this Saturn North Node conjunction happens every 19 years. So this is a very major, significant transit as well. And we are starting to get clarity on what's right for us. We're seeing things as they are, not with rose-colored glasses on. We're seeing the truth. And that's what Saturn, this grandfather energy, is coming in, giving us the truth that we need. We cannot ignore these things anymore. And we need to know, we already know deep down what isn't good for us. We already know that we've stayed in situations that we should have left ages ago. Now is the time for us to finally step up and leave. And there are things that we knew we had to do, but we haven't taken action on it. Now is the time for us to take action on it. And we are reflecting on all our past decisions that have gotten us to where we are now. And we're forced to plant new seeds. With Saturn, Saturn plays the long game, and it's about choosing the harder path. And we know that will gift us bigger and better rewards in the long run. So we just need to remember that. This transit won't come around for another decade and a half. So this is a very, very special moment. This is going to bring in lasting results on whatever you start right now, whatever seeds you plant right now is going to stand the test of time. And with this Venus retrograde, or Venus influence, it's going to be who is staying with you, who is going to grow old with you, who is going to stand the test of time with you. This is about relationships, but also just the Saturn North Node conjunction in general. We're having a look at the things in our life that are going to stay with us and grow old with us and stick it out with us for the long haul. And there are going to be fears around that, fears on what to decide and what to do and which direction to go. And we're going to be afraid to take that action step, which is totally fair. And there are going to be all these limiting beliefs coming up as well that we can't get there. But Saturn will help us get there when you put in the work. You just have to dedicate, you just have to commit yourself to something. And that is what Saturn's coming in and helping us right now. Make the commitment, connect to your heart, which is Venus energy, and then connect with that long-term vision, that long-term goal. That's Saturn. Merge the two. What is your heart calling for that's going to stand the test of time, that's going to be in your long-term future? And if something doesn't serve your long-term vision in your long-term future, now is the time to let it go. And that is the harsh truth and reality that's hitting us now. But it's going to open up all this new energy and all this new space for new things to come into our lives that are in alignment with us. So this is all happening perfectly on time, right after eclipse season as well. It's perfect for us to start taking action on these things and aligning with our heart and taking action on that, and making sure that our long-term future is the future that our soul has chosen. And it's the path that we've chosen to live here on this planet. We didn't choose to go off track and do the wrong thing and be messed up with the wrong people and hold ourselves back. We were here to step into our power, step into our truth, and step into our alignment to help the rest of the collective, to help the people around us. This is serving us on a planetary level as well. By you following your truth and following your heart, you're serving the world. So make sure that you do that. Tap in. I know it's emotional time. A lot of people are having mental breakdowns right now. That's so normal. But just follow your heart and follow that long-term vision, because Saturn is going to help you get there. Love you guys. See you in the next video.